Welcome to ALTC 804. We're going to dive into a quick overview for Module 6. For Module 6, we're going to be talking about classroom management. Classroom management is a critical component to our instructional practices as educators. Really, classroom management, you can think of it in terms of the importance is in setting the stage or having a strong foundation for having a productive learning environment. If we have attended to the key components of classroom management, effective classroom management, then our students should have a productive classroom culture where they feel safe, where they feel they can stretch themselves and engage in academic pursuits, while also feeling supported in the social and emotional aspects as well. So some of the key topics and essential questions for this module, I won't read them all to you, but really we're going to stretch you and provide you some different resources and videos to think and challenge you of how you would define classroom management. You're going to have the opportunity to do so in our assignment this week, where you're going to develop a comprehensive management plan, which will serve you well as you move forward in the program and also as you prepare ultimately for your PPAT assessment. We're going to have some opportunities to look at and discuss how teachers successfully manage behaviors of students in the classroom. As you have probably already learned, it's not typically a student with a behavior that you're attending to or trying to help set on the right path. Sometimes we're blessed with the opportunity to navigate several different challenging situations based on the needs of our learners or their communication. You remember, behavior is sometimes a form of communication for our students and helping us understand either they don't have what they need or there's more going on. So we're gonna look at different ways and tools to manage and set the stage so that ultimately we have created opportunities for ultimate success. But I'm also going to challenge you to get into other classrooms as best you can with the time that you have in your own schools, and do some quick observations. Ask other colleagues in the building if you can come in, step in, and just kind of watch for a portion of time. And we don't do enough of that shared practice as a profession. And when we take the time to go in and learn from each other, it can be super powerful. So I would encourage you to do so with a lens on classroom management and different tips and techniques that you see your colleagues using in the schools where you're teaching, even if it's not in your content area. Also, some of you, I think through the discussion, have shared some challenging behaviors with individual students. So maybe this is an opportunity to maybe find out other teachers or colleagues that have those students in their on their rosters, and maybe duck in if you can during a period of time and watch the behaviors of the students and how they respond to different instructors. So again, I challenge you just to stretch yourselves and learn as much as you can. We're going to, as I shared, we're going to have some readings. We're going to have some video opportunities that you're going to add to your toolbox. And our discussion for Module 6 is going to resemble the discussion that we completed in Module 2. If you remember, in Module 2, you were in a group of 4 students, and you had the opportunity to get into a synchronous discussion via Zoom and then record it and then have one member upload that. So I ask you to do the same. I have provided your group assignments. I did shift the groups up slightly. So you may have 1 or 2 of the same people from your previous group, but I looked at opportunities to have a high variety of backgrounds, content areas, and instructional levels this time, rather than having some role-alikes that we were more apt to have in the last set. So, and again, I'm just trying to mix it up and give you opportunity to converse with other students and get to know others in the program as well. So parameters are given to you. Again, I'm not going to read the assignment, but really you're going to have an opportunity to talk about the way you manage your class. I am going to encourage you, again, to problem solve as a group. Don't be afraid to talk about challenges that you're having with students. Of course, be anonymous and don't identify the students, but really use an opportunity and don't feel like you can't show any warts that you may be feeling right now. Share the challenges and use this as an opportunity to grow and help each other and find support from other colleagues who may have a different lens that they can share. In terms of the assignment for this module, you're going to come up with your classroom management plan. That's going to be developed based on the components of effective classroom management. So you're going to have a one-page opportunity to talk about professional teaching theory of classroom management and student engagement. You know, when we talk about classroom management, it's more than just behaviors. It's about the expectations and how we create the environment that learners will thrive in. Management is different than control. And I think sometimes we come into classroom management thinking about, okay, what am I going to do to keep kids in their place and keep kids knowing what the expectations are? Well, I'm going to encourage you, if that's your thinking, I'm going to challenge you to think about, how do students have agency in your classroom? How do students see themselves in the classroom and feel like this is a space where they can thrive? That's different than being in a space with the teachers in control of the classroom. Control can sometimes be equated with a negative connotation. So management and control, I want you to think a little bit differently about the two concepts. How do students have voice and ownership in the learning and the expectations? How have they been included in setting the stage for that? You're going to get an opportunity to look and describe the classroom environment and how you set the physical environment. That's what you do have control of. And you do have the opportunity to give students a space in that environment. Or do they have work that they're proud of that can be seen, visible in the classroom, or maybe it's projects that are on display. So it's not just identifying a single student, but maybe there's examples of what students have produced and achieved in the past. So something to think about as you move through the year and have opportunities to collect that type of resource. You're going to talk about your behavior management plan, how you develop the expectations, incentives, consequences, just so expectations are clear for you and your learner. Rules, routines, and procedures. There's a lot of research out there that talks about, you know, the impact that effective teachers have when they have established rules, routines, and procedures. And it's more than just establishing them, it's teaching them. You know, we're coming back in a lot of ways from a very hard 18 months. And one of the things that I was just discussing today with colleagues, I oversee transportation in my district. And our transportation provider they called and they said, we're seeing challenges in student behaviors both on the reg ed buses and also our special education buses. We need help. And I said, well, let me validate your concerns that we're all seeing challenges right now, because it's as if kids need to be retaught the expectation of how we operate at school, how we learn, how we behave, what the expectations are. So when we're seeing that in our classrooms and helping to kind of reestablish those routines and expectations with our learners, we also need to do that on the bus. So we have to kind of transfer some of those skills and expectations as well. So those routines and procedures are important, but I stress with you, it's more than just having them. We have to teach the expectation. And sometimes no matter what level you're at, even if you're a high school level, you have to reteach those expectations at different points of the year, because we're still dealing with developing adolescents. So just take a breath, be patient, and remember, teach, reteach, even when it comes to rules, routines, and procedures. Instructional strategies are key with behavior. So the best way to manage a classroom is to make sure you are on point with how you're planning instruction, so that you have attended to high impact, effective learning strategies that are going to maximize student engagement for the learner. That will take some of the burden off of the other aspects of management in the classroom. And last but not least, you've got 2 pages to really talk about how you've evaluated and assessed your current classroom management plan. So there's some reflective prompts to guide you in those last 2 pages there. So this should be a really nice module to explore. Again, it's one of those that a lot of first and even second year teachers will struggle with. It's just establishing what works for you in establishing or setting your classroom management plans, routines, procedures, your instructional strategies, your instructional plans. So I'm hoping that you'll get some good information from this, but as always, please reach out if you've got any questions. You are always welcome to reach out to me directly if you've got some challenging behaviors or things that you just want to talk through. I had a great compliment this week from one of you that just said, hey, thanks for, providing support in email. I really wish we could have just like talked across from each other at the dinner table. And I just want you to know that's possible. So I may be sitting at my dinner table and you may be sitting at yours, but we can always set up an opportunity to talk. So don't be bashful about that. And if I can provide additional assistance, I'm always happy to do so. So again, Module 6 should be a great module, some fun content, important content, and I wish you all the best and look forward to reviewing your work and giving you feedback. Take care and have a great couple of weeks.